Okay, guys, hey.
Hey.
So I just made a very important video on Street Wisdom Bible and the witness page. I hope you follow that. It's specifically for all my friends and followers. I hope you really do pay attention about this transformation that's happening. Listen, I'm going to tell you something with basic common sense. Okay? We need to get real and stop floating on clouds. People are down to earth who are real, right? These are the real people that are really doing something in society, right, that people don't pay attention to because they're not here on social media platform. You know, when I talk about the 20 tattooed warriors that rolled out of prison in America in the police investigation for a decade, who had an 84% success rate taking people off the streets, stop using drugs, stop committing crime, and getting back on their feet and not causing them to stumble so they could fend for themselves and cope in life. A 10-year investigation went into these guys, tattooed warriors that rolled out of prison. They had an 84% success rate, and the churches that complain about them all over America, the big rich ones, they had 1 to 5%. That's reported in a 2-hour documentary. One of the most extraordinary documentaries in the world, in my opinion. Because God said they'll come like a thief in the night, and they'll come from the caves to the prison, from the truth to the masses. They'll be outlaws like Jesus was. And you know, if you can just understand that concept for a moment, there are people that are real, that are down to earth, not floating on clouds and social media platform with all new belief systems all over the world and scientific theories, but real facts, basic common sense. You know, how often do you think about the guy coming to fix your toilet or electricity? The one who's working his guts out. How often do you see him on social media platform? The hard workers in this world. The ones you should really give credit to and you really should notice, the ones that do everything to fix everything that you need. You ever think about that? Or are you too busy thinking about other things? You know what's funny? I'll tell you something funny. We have a new guy that's just found us named Nathan, right? A new account something, right? Okay. Here's another tattooed warrior, right? Who's on the right path. And you need to pay attention to these guys. Look at Lincoln Russ from New Zealand. Young fellow rolled out of prison as well, right? Put a Bible in his hand and teach him really powerful. And he's just a kid. He's just a kid, man. But you have to understand something, right? Some things that we don't realize. The reality in life. Take Nathan, right? He makes a small video with his daughter, right? A powerful little punch. How a chip up the old block follows your father's footsteps, right? Do you get that? Do you actually get it? With some basic common sense and some reality. It's about being down to earth, man. We're the ones who really do something for society instead of sitting on a pedestal on social media platform thinking we're something special all the time and putting tickets in ourselves because we do this from our heart. We don't do it for marketing strategy. And it's people like this who are down to earth that are the most humble people in the world that you don't pay attention to. Let me tell you something. I just put a post up with Eddie Murphy from 1992. You should really listen to this. Eddie Murphy in 1992. A street punk. That's where he come from. He was a street punk the same as we were. But he cut it in life, right? With this attitude and a sense of humor. At 22 years old, he was standing in front of 50,000 people in Washington. That's when he made Delirious. One of the most funniest videos in the world. And it was dirty and filthy. I give it that, but it was fucking funny, right? And he's got some class about him, right? And let me tell you something. This is 1992. Listen to what he says in 1992, man. He doesn't like governments and authorities. He doesn't like the educational system. He never did. Do you know one of his last movies, he made a movie like a Christ image? Do you actually know that? It's a comedy, and man, it's a good movie. But he's so cool and so calm, he just looks at people and says, man, what's wrong with you? You get it. With a smile on his face, right? And you feel this aura through the movie. You feel him so positive that he doesn't entertain any negativity and he thinks you're an idiot. Right? Because that's what we think. We think most of you are idiots out there. And you think we're idiots, but it's the other way around. You are idiots. And the sooner you understand you're an idiot, the sooner you wake up. Because if you can't address that, you can't address nothing. You really can't. We're all wrong and we're all in the wrong mindset. Right? When we can't understand that, what the fuck do we know about life? And we think all the time with scientific bull BS and sitting on social media platform all the time. It's us guys that hated social media platform. We hate it with a passion. The 20 guys that rolled out of jail in America on a 2-hour documentary with a 10-year investigation by the federal police. Do you think you find them on social media platform? The guys are here with me and won't show their face, man. They support me, but they don't support social media platform and all the robots that are on here. They know that that's the inverted people the most. They're not real and they're not down to earth. They're not real and they're not down to earth. And when you're not down to earth, you'll never fucking wake up. Right? You're too delusional and flying on clouds somewhere in some massive delusion in a comfort zone. Mel Gibson. As I said, I met Mel Gibson all the way back in 1992. I sat down with him for hours. Right? He made the Mad Max, which goes into Mad Max 2 in the Promised Land, and he's the saviour. The Promised Land is the outback of Australia where the creative life begins. I've gone into a lot of details about this. There's a message in this movie. Take a look at Mel Gibson today, who made The Passion of Christ. And the movie's about to make now, and also a 4-part disclosure of adrenochrome and child sex offenders in Hollywood. He's righteous, and he's got some courage, right? These guys are punks. Mel Gibson was a punk from the old days, right? Believe me, I know, right? His attitude got him where he was, right? And it's your attitude that gets you there. It's your attitude, right, with some inspiration and encouragement, like a godfather, not to believe in the system, that gets you there. That's how I become #1 drug lord in Australia with the 7 most powerful networks, with my attitude and doing the right thing with my morals in the right place. Because inspiration and encouragement is what tools that we use. With loyalty, honor, respect, moral, and empathy and remorse. The people around us look up to us because they can depend on us without a marketing strategy. Okay, and as I said to you, we made an organic method that took the highest death toll down Mayo cocaine, stopped the gang violence and all the gang deaths for the lowest it was in 30 years. We did it in 4 years. You can read the statistic if you don't have faith in me. I'm not here to put tickets on myself. I'm here to tell you the facts. It was the first time in history that 7 networks worked together. The first time ever recorded in history. That's what disturbed them so much. Which means we put everyone together and stopped the violence and the gang killing. And that's how we did it. Right? And why? Because people looked up to me. Why? Because honesty is the best policy. I never had a gang. None of us did. We were mates that rolled together and wanted to change the circumstances, and we did something about it. Right? Not by marketing strategy. When we sold our products, it's word of mouth. And word of mouth means you have to create that word of mouth, and people have to have faith in you. Right? They have to have faith in your marketing. When you can't use a marketing strategy, they have to have faith in your words and your products, because your products can't be advertised neither. So, we change the circumstances with drugs to numb people when they feel bad, right? When they can't cope in life. And meth is a truth serum. Known fact used by the CIA, used by soldiers, super soldiers, and the same product they go into every single detail about. It's a conductor to different entities in parallel worlds. And when you take drugs to numbing yourself, what do? You cope and feel better, right? That's why 84% of people find this is a love drug when it's made laboratorily correct, like crystal meth in the old days, not the garbage in the street today. Don't even compare it with that crap. So I'm not here to recommend drugs because you create the same molecules from the Wind I Breathe program, the cold showers. The activation from a ice bath. You create this organically because we're not in a primal state, and this takes us back to a primal state. Now, this might be a little bit uncomfortable for you, but you've got to get through your mindset, how much your mind controls you. That's why the ice bath, right, is conquering all your fight-flight mode. Takes you outside your mind, right? And when you do that, and you do the When I Breathe In program, you activate the molecules of adrenochrome that you create from 0 to 7 that dies between 7 and 15. You recreate them. You create all the molecules to prepare your genes and immune system, right? And the deep breathing oxygen is the holy breath of life. But we don't breathe it anymore because we think too much on reverse psychology. So, there are people here in the world that's pretty pumped up, right? Like Eddie Murphy, right? Like Mel Gibson, right? And like people who are tattooed warriors from the streets that are real in this world, right? They live down to earth. They're the humble ones, like the indigenous people, the Shalom masterminds, the monks and the Buddhists, and the godfathers in this world. And you know what? You'd be surprised where they come from. Because they come from all walks of life, from the streets. The Bible is written with street wisdom with a universal language. You know that? And there's one thing that we always communicate with, it's street level stuff. We don't lose the marketing strategy and the psyop programs that the whole rest of the world does. That's confusion and frustration, right? That divides everyone, right? With colours, what they look like, where they come from and who they are, and think they're better than themselves all the time. None of us use those marketing strategies whatsoever, or the way that we educate it, because we use our instincts, we use our intuition, right? And we live by real, genuine loyalty, honour, respect, moral, rules, inspiration, encouragement. We don't fuck around and beat around the bush like the whole world does. They live in a bubble, like plastic gangsters, right? And they all think they're some character that they're not, living in some delusion. People just got to wake up to the way they behave and the way they're conditioned, right? To be soft, weak, spineless cows and not have a spine working, because that's Jacob's ladder. The shiver in your spine. Your gut feeling survival mode. That's the chakra. right? With a shiver in your spine, we can feel things coming with your sixth sense. And what is the drug? What's the Godfathers always say? Don't believe the governments, don't believe the system, believe your gut feeling, your sixth sense, right? Because God give you that gift, right? That's what honesty is. That's what real is. To be alert, alive, waking awake with a meth effect, not some psychedelic effect or dormant effect, right? See, the ice bath activates the dopamines, right? And the opiates. And it makes you numb. So you don't feel any pain, right? You don't feel any psychosis neither, or any dysfunctional behavior. No stress, fear, anxiety, confusion, frustration, delusion, or paranoia. It all goes bang out of the water, man. Bang out of the ice water, right? Bang, you're into numbness, right? When it comes to pain, stress, and anxiety. Then you think outside the mind with your intuition, because it's an outside influence. Lord's honor, respect, moral, rules, inspiration, encouragement is an outside influence. It's your spiritual connection, and that's how we connect. That's your genuine spirit connection, right? It's loyalty, honor, respect, moral, inspiration, encouragement. That's what's coded in your DNA. That's how you come into this world from 0 to 7. That's how you activate it from 0 to 7. And between 0 and 7, right, let me explain something to you so you get it right. Between 3 and 7, you mastermind a computer game. You move 7 times faster than an adult can. Pump with adrenaline to be alert, alive, wake, and win your terrible twos. And it lasts till you're 7. They didn't tell you that part. But believe me, when you have kids, you know that. It lasts till they're 7, till they go to school, and then they calm down. Because then they become psychologically mentally stripped from their sixth sense. The first thing they tell you, you've got boys in you, you've got psychosis, you must be crazy, you must be talking to yourself. And then a child loses his faith in his own biological genes and his natural organic motor skills to feel things between right, wrong, good, and evil. You see, your mastermind, the computer game was a mastermind. You move 7 times faster than an adult can, then his wheels falls off. And then the adrenaline stops because he thinks too much. And then those molecules die between 7 and 15. As a result from this, you become like your brain-dead stupid parents by 24. Brain-dead stupid. Want me to prove it to you? This is what your high IQ does. At 24 years old, when Australia comes to the door as a bad person, you get manipulated 10 seconds late to believe he's okay. Your child runs the corner in a heartbeat of adrenaline because he can feel it. He can use the sixth sense and he can feel it. He's got an outside influence that tells him to run away and can't be manipulated. When a good person comes to the door, your dog and a child runs straight towards that person in a heartbeat of adrenaline. And you turn around and say, oh, the dog's saying to you, I don't know why. Because you don't know why, because you're brain dead with a high IQ and you come to a conclusion with reasoning. So they invert you through schooling so you become brain dead, stupid, and stripped from your sixth sense. With a high IQ and think you're intelligent, and you use that all the time to come to a conclusion with reasoning. But see, a child that doesn't get manipulated like this, right, uses his intuition and his sixth sense and becomes a mastermind by 24 and can do many extraordinary things that other people can't do. Like Jesus. Do you know that? Because they're the facts. They're the real facts that they're suppressing from you and the hidden knowledge of how to know yourself biologically. Do you know that? You probably don't. Not many people do. There's not many like us. I can guarantee you that. And we don't come to social media platform to entertain people on social media platform. We're out there doing something in real life. I'd be one of the first ones ever recorded in history that's comes here like this, with these abilities. And I'm recorded as a mastermind in this world by the biggest think tank in the world. And I'm also brought the cure of the human conditioning manner in 2008 with Jeremy Gibbs and the top rollers in the whole world. Free from the human conditioning, because I live in a time where time stands still, life preserves, and everything is perfect, no pain, stress, and fear. So the research went into this process with cellular study research on how I create the molecules to preserve life, because I recreate the molecules the same as 0 to 7. That's why. And you don't. My immune system is 27 times more powerful than yours is, and a vaccination. Are you aware of that? Be a good idea to know that because you have the same ability. You can do what I can and more. But you design reverse psychology for 300 years and so inverted that you think too much and you keep on thinking and that's what oppresses you. You're controlled by the voice in your mind. I know that better than anyone. I broke free from that. I broke free from amnesia and discovered who I was, why I'm here, with the meaning of life is. That's why thousands and thousands of people coming from all walks of life to me and getting visions and dreams sent to me because they're using an outside influence on their reality and guided by that path. And they have faith in it. They have faith in their biological genes and their natural organic motor skills, and they're feeling it, man. And who do you think they are? They're people that are down to earth, man. They're real people that's connected to life, nature, and all the things we're in harmony with genuine loyalty, respect, moral, inspiration, encouragement, and not using any other tools. And who do you think they are? They're the tattooed warriors that come out of jail, buddy. They're the outlaws in this world, right? The ones that are rejected all over the world. That's who they are, right? They're the ones with the greatest inspiration and encouragement in this world that can help you out of the mindset you're in, right? And who would have thought that we were going to be the leaders here? But we were always told that in the Bible, that the scumbags of the earth that get stomped on all the time and judged all the time will raise to the occasion and lead mankind into salvation. And here we are. Here we are, and you better get it through your thick skull because we're raising the occasion like no other motherfucker on earth is. And God creates for this very moment, whether you like it or not. You can believe whatever you like. That's your decision. But believe me, it'll become your own judgment. But don't think for 1 minute that you know everything that I don't. And put yourself on a pedestal to try and belittle me because that's not going to work anymore. He said and she said, and the judging behavior and the competitive behavior is finished and over in this world. Finished. It's final. And I want to make that clear to everybody. Your behavior and the way you think on your social media platforms and the way you program is finished. Right? We're coming to stop this. With the most positive fields on earth, they're spreading like a virus and breaking people free from amnesia and discovering who they really are, why you're here, and what the meaning of life is. And believe me, it's a liberation you don't understand. That's the most fantastic, unbelievable thing on earth. The liberation. The truth will set you free beyond your understanding. But you got to learn to live in it. And you got to go through every rabbit hole and stick your head through the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel. And then you realize you had amnesia and you didn't know any better. And then you look back in the tunnel and realize no one else knows any better. And when you have some of that, all you do is want it for everybody else. That's all you want. You want everybody else to stick their head out the cave and realize the sun's a lot shining the other side and the grass is a lot greener. And believe me, you go through the death experience and there's nothing to fear. No more pain, stress, and fear. In a time where time stands still, life preserved to live of the tree of life and stop living of the fucking tree of knowledge, you scumbags. Wake the fuck up to yourself. You're controlled by a multiple system, right? By multiple chains that you can't free yourself from. You're controlled by stress, fear, and anxiety, confused by straight delusion and paranoia, and you lie about it, and you take drugs to numb yourself because you can't cope in life. The sooner you wake up to that, the better off you'll be. Because believe me, I might be a bit confronting, but God said we will be confronting. He said you can trust a thief more than a liar. He said you can trust a criminal more than an ordinary person that turns a blind eye. He said we'll come like a thief in the night and we'll come from the caves of prisons with the truth to the masses. And we are. My book is a perfect example. When I wrote my book, Conveying Feelings to Thought, the same way John did when he wrote Revelation. And my book, every single thing I put in that book turned out to be the information that turned out to be the evidence. Rock solid evidence that no man on earth can debunk or discredit. Yet 99% of people do because they're psychologically mental all over the world, selfish, egotistical, judgmental, and competitive, and they live in their own bubble and their own truth, and that's what's happening in the inverted people. They're not using their natural organic motor skills. And believe me, it might be a bit confronting, but I've got to get through your thick skull to get right deep down in your DNA and into your heart, because your heart is your mind, not your mind. This is only a mathematical beauty to work things out with. Your IQ is based on 98% memory. It's a memory box. It makes you damn good at what you do to destroy your DNA and everybody else's. That's what it's good for. On a marketing strategy to be competitive. I'm here to tell you something, right? You cannot win a piss contest against me. I'm one of the most confronting situations you've ever faced in human history. And I was designed for this moment for this very reason. To get it through your thick skull. It's not about what you think. It's not about what you think. It's about love. The meaning of life is understanding the resurrection. And understanding the resurrection is sticking your head through the cave at the end of the tunnel. Sticking your head through the light, because then you know things. And you're not in the knowing until such time you do this. So I recommend that you do the When I Breathe In program in the ice showers to discover these things. And discover you're not in the right mindset. And to think outside the mind and discover who you really are when you hear the meaning of life is. Because only then will you really know and being in the knowing. Then you look back in the cave and realize you did have amnesia and you break free from that, from the voice in your mind that's ultimately designed for human extinction. In the skull, you warned about that in Revelation. So understand this. Jeremy Griffiths declared that the voice in your mind is ultimately designed for human extinction. You better wake up to that. That's the top biologist and scientist in the whole world you're not paying attention to. You better wake up to it. Because it's like saying out there in the top platforms all over the world that you are in fact possessed by the devil. The devil is real. The negative fears and the way you think on reverse psychology is an artificial intelligence, an artificial insemination. So the alien basing comes inside your mind, and that's a voice in mind ultimate sign from extinction, from an outside influence on your reality. That's complicated, but it's real, and it always was, right? And it's more real today than ever because everyone's confused about this more than ever. You're stuck in a reincarnation trap, and you've got to break free from that. Nobody on earth dies. No one is ever dead. It's all by design for you to be in fear, stress, and anxiety throughout your life. You create the molecules to repair absolutely everything, including your genes and parasites such as cancer and everything like that. But you don't have that kind of faith. So whatever you believe in, you create your own effect, your own placebo effect. It also makes you so dysfunctional, you consume all the same wrong products and you can't grow your own food. You can't feed yourself right and you can't fend for yourself and you depend on everything in the system so much. You want everyone to fix the world, fix the WF, fix the New World Order, fix this, fix that, because you can't do jack shit about yourself. That's all you concentrate is on fixing the world when you can't even fix your own backyard. You can't even grow your own food and eat the right products, and you can't even think straight. So you're like a little child out there who can't even wipe their own ass. And if you can't understand that, you never will. But you have to do that. You have to learn to wipe your own ass and stand your own feet in your own sovereignty and stop depending on the fucking system all the time and every multiple chain that controls you so much. In fear, stress and anxiety, confusion, frustration, delusion, paranoia, and you lie about it and you're two-faced towards yourself. Get out of that mindset, man, because you don't know the damage you're doing to your own DNA. Get right out of that mindset because you're destroying yourself and everybody else around you and causing them to stumble rather than putting them back on your feet because you don't use the right tools. And that might be complicated, but it is how it is, buddy. Right? And I say this with the most powerful, compassionate, fatherly love that you'll ever come across. I stand in the Father's image whether you like it or not, and that's what we're doing here. Right? That's what we're all doing here. We're all part of that. Right? And it's about being confronting, and it's also about having a great sense of fucking humour, man. And stop being so fucking judgmental, you morons. Wake up to yourself. Live every day as your last like a child. Go back to your childhood and discover who you really are. Right? Go back to your childhood and think outside the mind you can do what Jesus can and more. You can do what I can and more. You can do what Winnie can and more. And you can do what we can and more. And there's a lot of us here, right? But do you think they're on social media platform? They wouldn't bother wasting their fucking time with you morons. And I'm saying it how it is because you're all like robots out there and sitting on a pedestal and watch fucking TV and more and fucking programs all day with more information, more critical thinking. And it's all the inverted tools that you're using. And I'm not saying it to be nasty. I'm saying it's because it's the most kind thing that I can say. We knew you were getting polarized back in 1980 when the social media came out and you were being programmed with television and marketing straight. Look at cocaine commercial. Psst, look, and then the what one? Oh, look, new Nike. Oh, look, new telephone. Oh, look, I want that, I want that, I want that. Oh, we better get some of that. Oh, we better get some of that. I mean, fuck me, do you realize how crazy you were going 40 years ago? You keep on going more crazy every fucking day. Right? When social media platform came in, you got polarized so much you sit in a bubble. You can't even function in real life with your real loved ones and friends. You can't divide with them. You can't even talk to your neighbours and love your neighbour, yet alone love thy enemy. Right? Because when you stick your head through the cave, you learn how to love thy enemy. And you understand that nobody knows any better. Nobody knows any better. Because they think too much. And they lost their primal skills. Their natural organic motor skills to think naturally and organically. And that's what's happening here, man. That's why we've got people like this coming through. People like Nathan, people like Lincoln, right? People like the new Lincoln, right? New Lincoln Russ. Okay? People like Brendan, people like Lardy, Tamika, Jessica, Nicole, Eve, many extraordinary people coming from all walks of life, and they all went through the same BS because the world's full of BS, man. Right? And you just got to see it for how it is, right? The world's full of BS, man. Don't listen to education and robots and fucking all this AI BS stuff. Right? Get real, man. Come back down to earth where it's all happening, man. That's where we connected with life, nature, and all the things we're in harmony with real lordship, honor, respect, moral rules, inspiration, and encouragement. That's where it's happening, man. Right? Come back to planet Earth. Right? Because that's where the humble people are. That's where the real human beings are. That uses the righteous tools, right? The right tools, man. Wake the fuck up to this. Don't be so judgmental and egotistical. A lot of people in the world are suffering for reasons, man. But you got no fucking care factor because you're too judgmental or you don't care about nothing and live in your own little bubble in your own fucking truth. Most people can't handle it, can't face it, can't deal with it, for God's sake. Don't you realise that? They're too busy entertaining themselves and living in a bubble somewhere in a comfort zone. But they're not real, man. They don't know how to love one another and bear another's burdens in real flesh. And that's what we're doing here. We're connecting people, right, with those frequencies, which we call the power of love, man. Because love and compassion is the very principle and foundation for life to exist and survive, man. And you've got to use those tools righteously. Stop living in a fucking bubble, you morons. And stop being so selfish and egotistical and judgmental and competitive. Because those tools makes you invertedly. When you rely on all these tools and rely on scientific evolutional BS to justify what you believe in, then ask yourself what fucking mindset you're in and where your faith system's at. Seriously. Wake the fuck up, man. Right? Don't get complicated about things, right? Okay, use your sense of humor for God's sake. God gave you that gift, right? Go back to your childhood and act like a child, man, with the knowledge you have. It's that simple, man. That's who you are. You're not the fucked up human being they program you to be. You're human, man, right? Your moral values means everything to you because that's what you conduct with. That's what you connect with your aura around you that spreads like a fucking virus, man. And trust me, it works. When you get out of the mindset and break free from amnesia, trust me, you have the inspiration and you have the power when your principality's in the right place, brother. Right? Trust me, right? Everyone gets so fucking complicated about this BS, right? They really do. right? Well, that's why people control everyone to try to belittle you and better themselves, right? Everyone tries to make you feel bad all the time. You know what? That BS doesn't work anymore. All these psychological fucking head fucks in this world that's got no fucking inspiration, encouragement, don't bring their fucking children up, right? Do they? They bring them cotton wool babies with an iPhone, so that becomes their best friend and sexy frustrated at yourself because they're born all day. What a bunch of brain dead fucking stupid parents. Their young women can't cook a meal anymore. Young men can't build a fence. They can't even think straight anymore. And then they think they're loving, compassionate creatures when they can't even fucking talk to their neighbours anymore and they conquer the Bible with their own family, lovers and friends. What kind of fucking human beings would behave like this? I can tell you what kind, right? Majority of them, they're fucking morons, right? We were always right because we are the righteous ones. We're down to earth, we're real, and we're really humble. We don't use those other tools to justify what we believe in. We don't fucking need to, man. That's the whole problem here. Oh, he's swearing he's a narcissist. Wake up to yourself, you weak spineless cow. Just sensitive and highly emotional. Right? Be it seriously, right? Do I swear at you and put you down? No, I cause people to get back on their feet, not cause them to stumble with your BS, right? Because it doesn't fucking work, right? Loving compassion with chocolates and roses doesn't work. Oh, low power entity doesn't work. It's a deception. It's a delusion. It's a comfort zone. The sooner you realize that, the better off you'll be. Trust me. It's about being in the Father's image, and the Father only uses those fucking tools, man. And sometimes he's got to be a little bit fucking cruel to be kind and give you a fucking whack over the head to wake up to yourself, man. What the fuck is wrong with you? Where's the discipline in this world? Where's the real men and women? That's right. We are them, right? Marion sits here and her silence speaks in volume. But let me tell you something. She's more fucking woman than 99% of women in the fucking world that pretends to be one. Because she's a child and she's innocent. That's why she's an angel. And her silence speaks in volumes. And so does ours, man. It's just me coming here on social media platform dealing with you fucking idiots out there and getting through your thick skull because God put me here. Whether you like it or not, he told me to come here and wake his children up because he loves each and every one of you and he knows you're just confused and frustrated with everything else on social media platform. Okay? That's why people find me and only follow me.
Yes.
And don't follow anyone else. Do you know that? Right? They really wake up to this, man. Okay? And believe me, this is inspiration, man. Whether you like it or not, this is tough love. And tough love is what's required around here. Not this weak spineless BS shit. Okay, guys? We love you with all our hearts and souls, and we do everything we can to break you free from amnesia, to discover who you are, and believe me, it works. Take a look at all the videos being made by all our friends and followers. The most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your ministry is these people. Okay? Love you all, guys.
Love you all. Bless. Bless you all.